Morning, folks. We made it back home, done with our project over in Seligman, Arizona, and everything's pretty good shape here. Got a lot of small projects to do here on the homestead, but while we were gone, our son-in-law took and called us, and he says, well, let me show you. The sow finally had pigs. Awesome. We have an overabundance of eggs. You wouldn't believe it. Them two chickens right there are laying us enough eggs that me and Polly can't eat them all. So I'm feeding them to the pigs. I fed 4 you seen earlier to Boo, and it's really good source of protein for your animals, especially if you're not eating them. So no sense letting them go to waste. Pig. Come on, pig. Pigs will actually eat the shell too. Here come the little ones out. Here at the boar. He'll actually eat the shells and all, which has got a good source of calcium in it. Pigs don't much mind. Come on, come get you something to eat. Come on, bring them babies out here. She's been a really good mama so far. She's been keeping them warm. It got kind of cool last night. There's 9 of them so far, and she seems to be taking really good care of them. She kind of fooled us. Before we left to go back to finish up over at Seligman, I had noticed that she was getting some milk, and I told Polly, I said, I bet you she's gonna have pigs while we're gone, and sure enough she did. Just need to give her a little bit more time. That crock pot needed to cook a little while longer. So enough of the baby pigs for now. We'll take and we'll show them to you after they get up and get running around. We got to go head to town and get water. That's one of the things on the desert that you're always having to do, particularly if you don't have a well. We hope to drill a well here at some point, but it's way down the road. We've got other projects that need to be done first, and it's about a $30,000 expenditure. So not just going to be taking and writing that check anytime soon. Come along with us as we do what we do here on the desert. We are here at the 24-hour water place. We've got our jugs in the back of the truck. We've got our big tank. They've got a way to fill it up over there. It's a hydrant that comes over. I'll take and show that to you. This right here is a little bit more expensive, but it's filtered water. It tastes real good. So we fill up all of our big jugs with this. The other water is potable, but I wouldn't drink it. It's not that great of a water. But this here's really good. Reverse osmosis, ultraviolet, filtered water. And we're going to fill up our jugs. Okay, so we stopped at the local snow cone stand and got a large tiger's blood. It's so good. Almost got a brain freeze. It's the simple pleasures in life that you have to slow down and take a second and enjoy. Alright folks, we made it back home with the water. We stopped down at the local farmer's market and we picked up a blackberry bush and some raspberry bushes. The raspberry bushes are clippings with the root. They've had the root started on them, so we're gonna take and get those in the ground today. We're gonna get this water offloaded and go plant some raspberries. I've got to get some kind of amendment for the soil. Probably gonna be planting it in just sand. So I'm gonna go dig into my compost pile, try to get down in there to where some of it has compost, where it's not as hot. Try to get some to put on these raspberries. This is mulch. Some of it's broke down, some of it's not. This is what our horse manure, hog manure, dirt from underneath our trees, it's a rock I think, turns into. Every day I come out, I add a little bit of hog manure, a little bit of horse manure, and this compost pile, compost bin is about done. I'm going to add a little bit more to it. This is what's going to be our raised beds. I keep telling folks infrastructure is the key. We got to get our fences up. We've got to get our greenhouse shade house built so that we can start growing stuff. It's just one step at a time. Remember, it's a marathon, not a sprint. So we were out walking around planning where we're going to put stuff, and we noticed this. Yeah, we're gonna have to get some tarps and pull a tarp over this and stake it down. We knew it was inevitable. This one is actually the newer one. Either that, or we're gonna have to get some more Gorilla Tape and Gorilla Tape it up. It's gonna take a lot of Gorilla Tape to fix that. Okay guys, we're down here in our lower bottom, and this is going to be our orchard. Probably not going to be for us. It's probably going to be for our children and our grandchildren. We are going to plant the raspberries down here. We're going to have to go get some netting tomorrow to put around them. Right now they're just sprigs, so it's not imperative. But Polly's trying to figure out the orientation of how we want this to run. Okay guys, what we've done here, we looked at the property line and we came 30 feet in from the property line. These flags represent our rows that are going to run up and down the hill, and we're going to lay out, we're going to have a road all the way around and down our property line, and then back out of here, back out of this lower bottom. So we want to keep the orchard in this little area here. We're going to have to put up a fence around it, so we don't want it to get too huge. We're thinking about 15 to 20 trees and bushes all together. So a little bit at a time. We got these first 2 raspberry bushes. You excited, Mom? Growing up, she had apricot trees, apple trees. Okay, the battery died. You were saying you had apricot trees.
Yeah, my grandma planted apricot trees. So we had apricot trees growing up, and then my great-grandma planted apples. And she had an orchard of apples, and they called her in Navajo Grandma Apple. So that was her nickname. So my mom's always planting trees and fruits, so this is...
It's your turn.
It's my turn to plant an orchard in memory of my mom, grandma, and great-grandma.
Okay guys, we're about in the center of our plot here that we're going to lay out for the orchard, and this is going to be the center one. I'm going to dig a hole here, and then we'll walk for these bushes. We're gonna do about 8 feet because they'll spread out, and they have a elongated root system. So I'm going to dig a root system that goes from here this way. We're going to go about 8 feet, plant another one, and then probably plant another bush on the other side. I'm going to trim that tree, plant another bush there, and then we'll just go down this row planting.
I like the shovel there.
Like the shovel. There is some moisture down in here, but we know how fast it dries out. I'm going to go ahead and put quite a bit of water because it's just going to soak in. And then we've got our compost here. It's kind of got some moisture in it. I want to kind of turn this into a paste. Now we're going to put our raspberry sprig in. It already has some shoots coming off of it. We're just going to take and arrange it, put a little bit more mulch on top. None of this dirt's really hard, and we've already loosened it up. For these raspberry sprigs to burst up out of the ground, you don't want your dirt to be packed. My root base is going this way, so I'm going to put a stake over on this side and tie the sprig. Now, this sprig is dead, but the root base, and there's some shoots coming off of it. Until we can get a drip system down here, we'll just come down and we'll just pour water in this well. Kind of lets us mark it where it's at. We'll tie it over here loosely to this post. We should have some raspberry shoots coming up, particularly with all this nice warm weather. Folks, we never know what we're going to get into in a day. We didn't have plans to plant today. We ran up on those raspberries at the local farmers market. We do have a blackberry plant. I'll take and I'll show you here after we end this up. But plant a tree today for tomorrow's sake. And remember, pray hard,
Stay strong.
ride on.